Hello, good morning and welcome. You're watching and listening to Britain's Newsroom. We're live across the United Kingdom on GB News with Andrew Pearce and Miriam Cates.
So, Sir Keir Starmer is living on, fights on, during that private meeting with the Parliamentary Labour Party in Committee Room 14 in Parliament last night. He addressed face-on the Peter Manton scandal, expressed his regret yet again that he employed him in the first place, and told MPs that he's won every fight he's been in. It's not true, is it? Winter fuel, he abandoned it.
That's a good point.
The farmers, he's had to do a massive U-turn on the farmers. What about the £5 billion of cuts to welfare? He had to throw in the towel. He's not won every fight.
And he removed the whip from some MPs.
He did.
Who then ended up winning the argument but still lost the whip.
And he was not going to bring back the cap on child benefit.
Yeah.
7 MPs lost the whip over that, voting for it to be lifted. He's now lifted it. I'm sorry,
Maybe
he's missed a U-turn.
Do you think he means real fights?
Perhaps punch-ups in the
If you had a punch-up with Keir Starmer in the playground at school, please get in touch.
Yeah.
We want to know if he won.
And he's about to lose an election very badly because they're going to get stuffed in May.
Yes. Be interesting what happens in the by-election there, because that could also trigger some more angst, but we'll see. For now, most of the Cabinet have thrown their support around Sir Keir Starmer.
One person who didn't was the Scottish Labour leader, Anna Sarwar. Here's what he said.
The situation in Downing Street is not good enough. There have been too many mistakes. They promised they were going to be different, but too much has happened. Have there been good things? Of course there have, many of them, but no one knows them and no one can hear them because they're being drowned out. That's why it cannot continue.
Well, quite the change from the 2024 Scottish Labour manifesto, where Sarwar and Starmer are pictured together under the heading Change. A very happy photo indeed. Well, let's get the reaction now from the political analyst and academic Dean Thompson. Mr. Thompson, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Interesting that Anna Sarwar is bringing a Scottish angle to Sir Keir Starmer's political woes. Why do you think Anna Sarwar chose yesterday to speak out? And do you think he's right that changing leader would help Labour in Scotland?
Well, it's quite clear that he's spoken out for two reasons. One that we do know for sure is the catastrophic fall in Scottish Labour polling through no fault of Anna Sarwar. If you look at September 2024, Labour were at 31%, September 2025, 18%. Now, what happened in the meantime there? Nothing that Anna Sarwar did that was catastrophic, but during that same time period, we saw a Labour Prime Minister burn through 11 ministers in 14 months, which averages 1 in every 5 weeks up until September 2025. And that's before the Lord Mandelson, Epstein stuff. So on the one hand, Sarwar's own job is on the line in May if Labour finish third, which they're scheduled to behind Reform and the SNP. And also one gets the impression that Sarwar thought he would have backing from certain Labour people that never got out. So I'd say Starmer has taken a huge Labour majority and squandered it within weeks of taking power. And Sarwar's had the guts to say in public what a lot of Labour people are saying in private on WhatsApp.
And he would have been especially angry about the Labour's position in the polls, bearing in mind the virtual implosion of the Scottish National Party with the dramatic decline of Nicola Sturgeon, who'd been Queen Bee for many years. Her husband, she was arrested. The accountant was arrested. Her husband was arrested. That scandal, you would have thought, would have propelled Labour to a landslide victory in May. Now they're looking like they won't win at all.
Indeed, if you actually, the biggest benefit from the SNP's struggles actually has been quite interestingly reform. One would think that reform voters are all just coming from the Scottish Tories who have completely collapsed. But actually, 31% of no voters in the independence referendum are backing the Reform Party. They're picking up support from quite a broad brush. And part of this is people who are more socially conservative with a small c, who are unhappy with biologically male people being put into women's prisons. There's a news story about that right now in Scotland that's being overshadowed. And so one would have assumed that Scottish Labour would have been well placed to benefit from this. Sarwar had U-turned and repositioned the party. Having supported self-ID, he came out a while ago against it with hindsight and apologised for getting it wrong the first time. So Labour has, in Scotland, attempted to position itself to benefit from an SNP which is on the way down to flatlining at about 30%. Long way down from where they were under Sturgeon, which was well over 40%. So the big beneficiaries, unfortunately for Labour, are the Reform Party in Scotland that seem to be picking up a lot of momentum.
Dean Thompson, thank you so much for your views this morning. Yes, very interesting. You would have thought that Labour would pick up votes from SNP, but they're equally progressive, aren't they?
And that was Sarwar's point yesterday. You can't bear the fact they're going to go into a third decade with the SNP in charge in Scotland, because their record on education in particular in Scotland and drug debt is woeful.
It is. Reform obviously hoping to challenge that, but we'll see. A few months to go. Well, Catherine Forster